Blake Lively is reportedly terrified that deeply personal mental health struggles could be leaked as the Justin Baldoni legal battle intensifies. Blake Lively enjoyed the kind of existence that millions scrolled through on Instagram with quiet envy. She embodied Serena Woodsen, the golden-haired queen of Gossip Girl who came to define an entire generation. That role alone earned her more than $7 million and cemented her as a household name. By 2024, her film It Ends With Us had grossed $351 million worldwide, and she was married to Ryan Reynolds, one of Hollywood's most picture-perfect power couples. To the outside world, her life appeared to be the ultimate dream. Yet beneath that glossy exterior, a far darker pattern had always existed. Journalists walked away from her interviews feeling humiliated. Co-stars openly despised working with her. Controversies so staggeringly tone-deaf they bordered on deliberate. Marrying on a former slave plantation, continuing to use slurs even after explicit warnings, mocking a cancer diagnosis purely for publicity. The cracks were always there, carefully concealed behind an impeccable public image. If you stayed up until midnight waiting for Blake Lively to file that amended complaint. Okay, am I the only one with my hand up? Are you all just here to plagiarize because you know I dissected every single line like a total psycho? This is literally the wording from the introduction. It says exactly this. But in 2024, the world finally stopped pretending it couldn't see. To grasp how everything collapsed, we must return to the very beginning, where she never once had to fight for anything she achieved. Blake Ellender Brown was born on August 25, 1987, in Tarzana, Los Angeles, to actor-director Ernie Lively, who appeared in over 100 films. All four of her siblings worked in entertainment: Eric, Robin from Teen Witch, Lori, and Jason from National Lampoon's European Vacation. Her brother Eric connected her with his agent, Fire, and by 2005 she had already secured a lead role in The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, a film that grossed $42 million. She never auditioned through conventional channels. She never had to struggle for opportunities. Privilege was woven into her story from day one. And when success is simply handed to you, you don't learn humility, you learn entitlement. That entitlement revealed itself almost instantly. It's just very bizarre. There were countless things he could have mentioned, but to reveal that your client suffers from profound mental health issues is truly alarming. In 2007, Blake stepped into the role of Serena Woodsen on Gossip Girl, a series that erupted into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Millions fell in love with the on-screen friendship between Serena and Blair. Off-screen, however, Blake and Leighton Meester genuinely couldn't stand one another. A 2008 New York Magazine report stated they avoided each other like the plague, forcing cast members to choose sides. Producer Joshua Safran confirmed in 2017 that they were never friends, describing Blake as perpetually in the moment and highly social, while Leighton remained quiet and withdrawn. The tension wasn't mere professional unease, it was outright hostile. During one cast panel interview, Blake joked about not wanting to work with a monkey from the books. Chuck has a matching pet monkey with coordinating outfits, and I was like, I would love to be part of the show, but I can't act with a monkey. And then I got a few of them. She got a few of them. Come on. It was a joke. Then she looked directly at Leighton and said, well, some of us started in a cage. The room went dead silent because Leighton's mother had been incarcerated when she gave birth to her. Whether Blake intended cruelty or simply spoke without thinking, the damage was irreversible. Armie Hammer also witnessed Blake's behavior firsthand when he was cast as Serena's love interest in what was intended to be a longer arc. He appeared in only 4 episodes before abruptly disappearing. Years later on Watch What Happens Live, when asked who the biggest diva on set was, Hammer became visibly uncomfortable and strongly suggested it was Blake, saying filming had been difficult and he didn't complete his scheduled episodes. By the time Gossip Girl ended in 2012, Blake was earning $60,000 per episode and had become a global star. But those who worked closely with her knew the truth, and her public comments during those same years were about to cause massive problems. Between 2008 and 2012, while Gossip Girl made her famous, Blake repeatedly used a transphobic slur in published interviews. This wasn't ignorance or a one-off mistake. It was a repeated pattern. In a 2008 Nylon TV interview with Leighton, she dropped it casually while discussing tabloid rumors. In 2009, Allure quoted her saying she felt like one because of her height and that wearing heels made her feel like a man. Everybody is dating everyone. Everybody hates everyone. Everybody's had tons of plastic surgery, and we're actually men, and I mean. It's just like Trans Advocate, an online publication, directly warned her that the term was deeply offensive to the transgender community and asked her to stop. She ignored them completely. In 2012, Elle magazine ran an interview where Blake said if she didn't have daughters, they'd better be that because she had amazing shoes and bags that needed appreciation. Trans Advocate contacted her again, this time more forcefully, reminding her of their prior warning. Still no apology, no acknowledgement, no change. Those interviews remained buried in archives until August 2024, when they resurfaced and exploded online. The context made it exponentially worse. It proved she had been warned twice by advocacy groups and simply didn't care. Her tone deafness, however, was only getting started. On September 9, 2012, Blake married Ryan Reynolds at Boone Hall Plantation in South Carolina, a property that still features 9 original slave cabins from 1790 to 1810, historically known as Slave Street. They discovered the venue on Pinterest and chose aesthetics over its horrific history. Their wedding photos went viral immediately, appearing in every celebrity magazine, with the slave cabins clearly visible in the background as the couple celebrated. Critics condemned it right away. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are apologizing today for holding their 2012 wedding at a southern plantation. The golden couple tied the knot at Boone Hall in South Carolina, where slaves once lived before the Civil War. The initial backlash remained somewhat limited. Then in 2018, when Ryan tweeted enthusiastic support for Black Panther, the hypocrisy became impossible to overlook. How do you celebrate Black excellence while having literally married on a plantation? It wasn't until August 2020, after George Floyd's murder triggered a national reckoning with racism, that Ryan finally apologized in a Fast Company interview, calling it a giant fucking mistake. Blake never said a single word about it. In 2019, Pinterest completely banned plantation wedding photos from the platform. Blake's silence became louder than any apology could have been. Incredibly, the plantation wedding wasn't even her only instance of romanticizing slavery. Something we'll always be deeply and unreservedly sorry for. It's impossible to reconcile, the Deadpool star said in a new interview. He explained that he and his bride found the venue on Pinterest and were dazzled by its beauty. In 2014, Blake launched Preserve.us, a lifestyle site intended to celebrate artisanal craftsmanship and Southern charm. Within weeks, she published a feature titled The Allure of Antebellum, openly romanticizing the pre-Civil War slavery era, featuring a white woman in elegant attire on a Southern porch, with copy praising Southern belles for their inherent social distinction and style-setting role. There was zero mention of slavery, no acknowledgement of what the antebellum period actually meant for millions of enslaved Black people. Jezebel immediately ripped into her, pointing out that inherent social distinction was just a pretty phrase for slave owners who built wealth on human suffering. Adweek later declared in its October 2015 analysis of the site's failure that the biggest problem wasn't the overpriced products. It was that the entire brand was profoundly tone-deaf. Blake eventually shut it down after 1 year, telling Vogue they launched too early, but never addressing the slavery glorification. The pattern was undeniable. Blake cared only about aesthetics, never the human cost behind them. By 2016, her dismissive attitude toward anyone she considered beneath her had become an open secret among entertainment journalists. Norwegian reporter Kjersti Flaa experienced it firsthand during what should have been a routine interview for Café Society. She opened warmly, congratulating Blake on her pregnancy. "Congrats on your little bump." Blake's face darkened. She shot back sarcastically, "Congrats on your little bump." Flaa wasn't pregnant. She's infertile. The comment wasn't merely rude, it was cruel. When Flaa tried to recover by asking about the beautiful period costumes, Blake snapped again, questioning whether men ever get asked about clothes. Flaa said she would ask them. Blake then completely ignored her, turning to Parker Posey to discuss male actors' wardrobes while icing out the journalist entirely. Textbook Mean Girl behavior. render someone invisible to assert dominance. First of all, congrats on your little bump. Congrats on your little bump. What about my bump? You've got 2 nice ones in these. Yeah, and you know, working in digital wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes. I would. I love Jesse's. That's what I'm saying. His wardrobe was beautiful. Flaa kept the footage for 8 years, terrified of being blacklisted by Blake's team, the studio, or the entire system that protects powerful actors and punishes journalists who expose them. When she finally posted it in August 2024 under the title, "The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job," it surged to 6 million views in days. Suddenly, the public saw what journalists had known for years. But the scandals kept rolling in. In 2018, Blake starred alongside Kendrick in A Simple Favor, and rumors of tension surfaced immediately. Industry insiders whispered that Anna had criticized Taylor Swift's fan interaction style in 2016, and Blake, Swift's fiercely loyal best friend, took it personally. The press tour awkwardness was unmistakable. In one BuzzFeed video, Anna joked that she decided to hate Blake the day she arrived hours late to set while Anna waited. The Celebrity Memoir Book Club podcast later shared unverified claims from an alleged studio source that the 2 actresses weren't speaking by the end of filming. Yet in 2022, they announced a sequel, proof that in Hollywood, box office potential always trumps personal animosity. Then March 2024 arrived, bringing perhaps Blake's most egregious tone-deaf moment yet. On March 10th, Kate Middleton posted a Mother's Day photo that the Associated Press pulled for digital manipulation. The princess had been absent since January after abdominal surgery, sparking rampant health conspiracy theories. 3 days later, Blake posted a Betty Buzz ad featuring an obviously photoshopped image of herself, mismatched hands, floating lemons, captioned, "Now you know why I've been MIA." She was directly mocking Kate's situation. The Betty Buzz account even commented, "Haters will say it's Photoshop," treating a woman's medical crisis like a marketing opportunity. 9 days later, Kate released an emotional video revealing her cancer diagnosis and ongoing chemotherapy. Blake posted a mortified apology and deleted the ad within hours, but it was far too late. She had ridiculed a woman battling cancer for clicks and product promotion, proving she had learned absolutely nothing from 15 years of similar disasters. Nothing, however, compared to what unfolded in August 2024. It Ends With Us should have been Blake's crowning achievement, a film addressing domestic violence and breaking abusive cycles, grossing $351 million worldwide with Blake as both star and producer. Instead, she promoted it like a light-hearted rom-com, telling audiences to grab friends, wear florals, and come enjoy a movie about abuse. Naked truths aren't always pretty, but Blake Lively is fighting for truths in her It Ends With Us lawsuit. So much so that the actress added a former CIA agent to her legal team. "We love our job, and we love our work, and we take it very, very seriously." She pushed her hair care line and beverages in interviews meant to discuss domestic violence. She wore Britney Spears' iconic sparkly Versace dress to the premiere. Meanwhile, director and co-star Justin Baldoni was conspicuously absent from joint press, skipped cast photos, and was unfollowed by the entire cast on Instagram. Author Colleen Hoover sided with Blake, introducing the film at the premiere instead of Baldoni. Something had fractured beyond repair. When the public was forced to pick sides based on past behavior, they overwhelmingly chose against Blake. Every old controversy roared back. The Kjersti Flaa video with 6 million views, the transphobic slurs from 2008 to 2012, the Plantation wedding. At the London premiere, a fan offered Blake a handmade friendship bracelet. Blake looked at it, said it didn't match her outfit, and passed it to an assistant. Moments later, co-star Isabella Ferrer received a similar bracelet, put it on immediately, and squealed with genuine gratitude. The viral side-by-side clip said everything about the difference between Blake and everyone else. Then the bombshell landed. On December 20th, 2024, Blake filed an 80-page complaint with California's Civil Rights Department alleging sexual harassment by Justin Baldoni and producer Jamie Heath, showing inappropriate videos, discussing alleged porn addictions, commenting on her post-childbirth weight, invading her space while breastfeeding, unscripted physical contact, and adding unauthorized intimate scenes. One allegation proved especially contentious. Blake claimed Baldoni body-shamed her by asking her weight. His team countered that he suffers chronic back problems and needed the information to safely lift her in romantic scenes. Two radically different interpretations of the same conversation. The complaint also detailed a January 4, 2024 production meeting where Ryan Reynolds attended as Blake's representative despite having no official role on the film. You've been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing. Bro, Blake Lively. Talk about ruining your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds too. Yeah, Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to exit the lawsuit, and they're like, no, you're a key part of this. This is what you get. Blake presented demands, including an intimacy coordinator. Baldoni and Heath agreed to everything. But Ryan's involvement went deeper. The lawsuit revealed he rewrote a scene without credit, injecting himself into a production he wasn't hired for. The power dynamic was glaring. Blake and Ryan were $380 million combined against Baldoni's small Wayfair Studios. Blake alleged that after she spoke up, Baldoni hired crisis PR specialist Melissa Nathan in August 2024 to orchestrate a smear campaign. Nathan had worked on Johnny Depp's defamation case against Amber Heard, specializing in rehabilitating men accused by women. Leaked text showed publicists discussing how Baldoni wanted to bury Blake using bots and planted stories. The New York Times published, "We can bury anyone inside a Hollywood smear machine." Blake filed a federal lawsuit on December 31st. Baldoni struck back harder than anyone anticipated. In January 2025, he countersued for $400 million, claiming Blake and Ryan orchestrated their own smear campaign against him, seizing creative control, commissioning her own cut using the Deadpool editor. Two versions existed, his director's cut and her producer's cut. Sony released hers. Baldoni alleged Ryan called his WME agent demanding they drop him as a client. The suit also named Blake's publicist Leslie Sloan, who once represented Harvey Weinstein. The irony was inescapable. Baldoni released a 10-minute behind-the-scenes video claiming it proved his innocence. Blake's lawyer argued it actually corroborated her allegations, showing unwanted contact that made her uncomfortable. This is my favorite showbiz story this year, the Justin Baldoni war with Blake Lively. Initially, I felt quite sorry for Blake. Then I read all the released messages, and it just seems like a pair of absolute narcissistic weapons. The legal war escalated rapidly. Blake's team subpoenaed phone carriers and Google for evidence. Most controversially, they subpoenaed Kjersti Flaa, apparently believing Baldoni's team had paid her to post the old interview. Flaa spoke out publicly, describing feeling powerless and demanding an apology. No evidence ever surfaced. She had simply shared a painful 2016 interview because she was tired of Hollywood's dismissive treatment of journalists. Social media strategist Jed Wallace, whom Blake accused of orchestrating attacks, sued her for $7 million in defamation. In June 2025, Judge Louis Lyman dismissed both Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit and his $250 million New York Times suit. Blake won legally, but public opinion remained bitterly divided. Crisis PR experts argued she handled everything wrong, deflecting blame onto a conspiracy instead of owning her well-documented problematic behavior. Some supported her as a legitimate harassment victim. Others saw her weaponizing #MeToo for reputation repair. In April 2025, Time named her one of the 100 most influential people. Thousands signed a petition demanding they rescind it. The trial was scheduled for May 18, 2026. Blake Lively was handed every possible advantage: beauty, connections, opportunities, wealth, and a powerful partner. Yet 15 years of documented behavior painted one consistent picture: the Plantation wedding, repeated slurs despite direct warnings, dismissive treatment of journalists, feuds with Leighton, Meester, and Kendrick, mocking Kate Middleton's cancer, tone-deaf promotion of a domestic violence film. Whether Baldoni's allegations are true does nothing to erase what is thoroughly documented. Blake wasn't canceled by coordinated attacks or manufactured outrage. She constructed her own downfall, one entitled moment at a time, until the accumulated weight finally crushed the meticulously curated image. The public simply began paying attention to what had always been there, lurking behind Instagram perfection and red carpet glamour. So here's the real question. In an industry that creates and protects people like Blake Lively for decades, how many others are just one viral video away from the exact same reckoning?